Hi guys, EBPMAN here with Tablets for Me. And today I want to take a look at another security camera. This security camera is a wireless 1080p IP camera model R2W. This camera is brought to us by Foscam. Before doing the unboxing, let's take a look at some of the features of this camera. First of all, this is a full HD camera, as you can see here, giving you 1080p display resolution. It has the ability to support two-way audio, supporting intelligent alerts, has cloud service capabilities, and also will support message pushing to your smartphone. It is a remote controllable camera that does support pan and tilt, and you can see that it has a lot of flexibility with the pan and tilt controls, as well as having a what they call magic zoom, or 8 times digital zoom that's taking place. Wide angle view of 110 degrees, and it's again high definition, and really enhancing the visibility of your camera as it's really monitoring or keeping your home secure. It also has audio notifications, and if we look at furthermore, it's a wireless camera, right, and supporting some of the newer standards as well. It does come with night vision capabilities, and in the night vision capabilities is going to be able to see up to 24 feet. It has an external SD card slot and will support SD cards up to 64 gigabytes. That way you can do some local storage, and it's also firmware upgradable via the app, so you really don't have to plug the camera directly into any kind of device. As you can see here at the very top, and we'll zoom in, here's some use cases. Just looking at the inside of your house, being able to see what's going on in your surrounding area. You could use this as a nanny cam or a pet cam, so a lot of flexibility when it comes to the use cases that you can think about. So let's unbox the device and see what's included, and then we'll go through the setup and we'll do an overall review. Inside the box, you'll have a mounting kit so that you can mount your camera on the wall, the camera itself, a security sticker that you can post on your window, a security warning and privacy guide, a instruction card that will help you get support from Foscam, the power cord, software installation diskette, more information about their cloud service and their apps, the installation guide, and this is kind of the mounting bracket that goes along with the screws and will go on the bottom of your camera, as well as the antenna for Wi-Fi support. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the camera now. So we'll zoom in for a bit. On the very front of the camera, you'll notice that you have obviously the lens as well as the IR blaster needed to pick up the night vision. At the very top, you do have a speaker. At the very bottom, you have your microphone. On this side, you'll find your micro SD slot, and this is where you're going to be able to put up to 64 gigabytes card. And on this side, you have your WEPS reset. So this is for your wireless access point or network connection. Here on the back, you have your Ethernet port. You have your network status lights here, as well as your power. As you can see right there, that's your power cord adapter. This plug right here is for the antenna that came included to help receive signal. You have a speaker in the back. And then on the bottom, what you'll have is all the statistical information needed, as well as the barcode in order to connect your camera to your network. I'll flip it over one more time. The bottom here, this base rotates, so with the camera being able to pan to sides and also up and down, this will maintain a fixed position, and then this part will move left, right, up and down. So at this point, I've attached the antenna, and you can see the antenna is connected. I still haven't powered up the camera because the next thing that you have to do is make sure that you install the app. And I just wanted to show you the app. And I've been installed or reviewed other Foscam cameras as well as several others. So I already have this Foscam app already pre-installed. So simply go to the appropriate marketplace, either the Android marketplace or the Apple marketplace, download the Foscam software, and we'll go through the step of setting up the camera. Now keep in mind that the Foscam cameras, because they are IP based and they are very open in nature, you could use third-party apps, any app that can support an IP camera, to control the camera itself. But I'm going to focus on the Foscam app, and we're going to set that up, and I'll show you how I can add this camera to my existing setup. So I've installed the app previously, as I mentioned. You can see one of my cameras is still functional. Here I'm going to just click on the add button. Once I choose the add button, I'm going to scan the back of the camera that already has a barcode, or it does have a barcode that's going to allow you to register it with the app. So let's do that now. Once you power up the camera for the very first time, you're going to see this startup sequence. So it's actually rotating, going around in circles. It's actually speaking as well. It's saying that it's ready for Wi-Fi configuration, so you do get those audio prompts coming from the speaker of the camera, and you can see it's moving around as it's just going through its initial configuration. So now it's ready, and what I'm going to do is use my iPhone where I have the app installed to add. So I'm going to go ahead, as I mentioned, I'm going to click on the add. And once I choose add, I have the option to scan that QR code. So I'm going to tap to scan. I'm going to take my camera, flip it upside down, and I'm just going to scan the QR code. So now that I've scanned the QR code, it's basically identifying the QR code at the very top and asking me to put my network information. So as you can see here, I have my network information that needs to be keyed in. So I'm just going to put my Wi-Fi password and then choose connect. So literally what it's going to do is it's going to take my Wi-Fi connectivity and pass it on to the security camera and configure it with my Wi-Fi network without me having to plug in a Ethernet cable and try to find it with a PC. Now once I've done that, it's going to take about, it's going to count down from up to 120 seconds to configure and connect with the camera itself. Now it's giving me some feedback because it's telling me that my Wi-Fi password is incorrect, so I'm going to go ahead and key that in one more time. So now that we've added the camera to the Foscam software, I'm starting to get several alerts because the camera has the ability to not only provide motion alerts, but it also deals with audio alerts. So throughout the presentation, we may see some audio alerts come up on the screen. So first what we're going to do is we're going to go in and actually see what the camera can see. So as you see, I have the camera pointing towards the opposite side of my table here, and I have some boxes here. Now there are several controls that we're going to be able to play with. You'll notice right here in the bottom we're going to zoom in, so we're going to take our focus off of the camera and we're going to focus on what you can see with the software. So let me zoom into that. We'll make sure that this stays in focus so you can see everything that's going on right there. So let's look at the icons that appear at the very top here of the screen. So the first thing you have is a speaker, and this speaker is what you're going to be able to use to speak through the camera and also control some of the audio input that's coming through it. So let's try this feature first out. I'm going to disable the mic because we're going to get some feedback. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hold and talk. And here we have some speaker volume. So I'm going to increase the volume all the way to the top, and I'm going to try to say something. This is a test, 1, 2, 3. This is a test, 1, 2, 3. Now that was pretty loud. It does sound a little tingy, but it's actually something that's easy to understand. It's hard for you to understand it because as it's going through the recording at the same time, I'm getting some feedback. But it was pretty good. Now the other thing you could do is you can actually listen. So I can say 1, 2, 3. And you can hear how clear it was coming through the system or through my phone. So it's doing a decent job of picking up the audio and also allowing me to communicate through the security camera. The other feature you have here is the ability to take a picture, record, and here's one neat function that I just wanted to show you. This is going to give you the ability to control your camera, and we're going to zoom out a little bit so you can see that full experience. So what I could do is I could actually use this to bring the camera up or down. So I'm going to pan up, down. I could use it to pan to the left, or in this case I'm going to the right. And I'm going to press and hold to move over. So you can tap just to nudge it, right? So I'm going to press and hold, and you can see how it's going across. Or I can press and hold to go the other way, and it's nice. The feedback, just the responsiveness, and the feed is coming across pretty smoothly. You can also then, so let's say for example, if we want to zoom into this item that's here, I have the ability to zoom in. So we're going to press this to zoom in, and so you can see the zoom capability. So I'm zooming. And we'll see how close. So this is the box of the iPhone 6s, and we'll pan over. And here's the box for the Foscam, and what we can do is you can zoom into that as well. So nice. You also have the ability to focus. So if at any point as you're zooming in, you can adjust the focus. So we were able to move the camera all the way over to the right. We were able to, we can also move it to the left. We can go down. What you can also do is just go back to the standard position. So the camera is going back to its standard position, and I'm going to lower it. And you can see how fast that is. And I'm also going to zoom out. And we'll take it all the way out. So I'm just pressing and holding, and you can see it's just subtly coming out, and until it's fully out from zoom. So all in all, pretty nice features when it comes to pan and zoom, focusing, as well as going back to your standard position. So we're going to get out of this now. And you have this feature here that is going to allow you to pan in certain areas. So for example, if I were to change this, I have cruising, which allows the lens that's with the camera to go up and down. If I set the vertical, for example, and I tap it, it's just going to go all the way to the top. Watch what happens. I'm going to hit play. So it's going to go all the way to the top and then all the way back to the bottom. Now, this is useful depending on, again, depending on what you're trying to control. So in some cases, you could be dealing with a situation where you want the camera to pan left or right or up and down, and it's important based on where you have the camera mounted to have that control. So you may be asking yourself, when and why would I ever do that? And the point is that you would probably want to do that in the event that you have it mounted and you want to scan a specific area left to right quickly without having to press this up and down arrow and just hit the buttons really quickly. As we were looking at that, and let's go back to it really quick, and we'll go to this area. You have presets for cruising, and then you also have the presets for either moving top to bottom, topmost, leftmost, or rightmost. So both of these areas you can actually quickly scan to the left, to the right, to the bottom, or do side scans or vertical scans. So I think it's a pretty neat feature. Let's go back over here for a second. The other thing you have the ability to do is to enable the night vision. So if you press this button right here, you can schedule the night vision. If I do open, what it's going to do is going to turn to night vision. It's pretty bright in here, so you're not going to see much happening there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that, and we'll leave it to auto. You could also schedule it, so you can have a schedule, and this schedule is going to allow you to control, when the night vision turns on. You do have also the ability here to work with how you want to rotate the image, especially if the camera is upside down. You may want to rotate the image to see it the correct way. And then what you have here is the ability to adjust the feedback or the stream. You can go smoother, which means the image itself is going to come across really easily, but the quality may degrade. Or you could go high definition, which is at 1080p, which means it may stutter somewhat as it's moving forward. Right? So we're right now in HD mode here. Other settings that you have, if we go up here for a second, we'll look at what we have here. You can look at what connections you have, some basic information, the camera time which you can establish. You can go into alerts, and here you can establish what your alerts are going to be, and you can have motion detection, and you can schedule the sensitivity, right? And you can also schedule it to do specific type of recordings. So for example, if you had an FTP site that you want the recording to go, or to the software, the SD, on the device, and you could establish what your sensitivity is going to be to any kind of motion that would take place. So again, and you also have trigger intervals, so that's something. So we talked about the schedule. You can determine when this turns on, sensitivity, all these nice features. And right now it's picking up a lot of the audio or me speaking, so you're getting some of that. On the sound detection, we hear that, so if I turn that off, this is going to stop any of the comments from coming across, at least the detection. But if I turn it on, I can have a schedule, I can schedule sensitivity, and I can also tell it what to do with the recordings. So I'm going to turn this off. So pretty much those to me are some of the most useful features. We talked about a lot of these things. A couple other things that I'll just highlight that I like is being able to enable or disable status LED. You can do that if that's something that you would like to do. You also have this feature here, which is again another high definition setting. You also have scheduling your night vision, as we talked about. Firmware upgrade, I always check this out. This is important. I've checked the firmware upgrade, and I was able to upgrade it. All you do is you'll see the current version and the new version, and you hit upgrade, and it takes care of that wirelessly. And the last function there you can delete. So what I want to do is put this into a room that has low light sensitivity, show you what it looks like under normal camera, and then show you what it looks like with this camera. So let's take a look and see how good the night vision is. Alright, so this is going to give you a sense of what a standard camera sees in this environment. So lights are pretty much off, and you see the light coming from my television, but that's pretty much it. Let's see what the camera sees with the night vision capabilities. So as you saw in that video, pretty much with a normal camera, you're going to be in pitch black. So the camera right now is using that night vision capability, and you can see from what you see here on the phone, it's bringing out a lot of the detail in the room. Anytime you rotate the phone like this, you're going to be able to get a better view. So let's get out of that for a second. This is what the camera is picking up, and we'll zoom in just so you can get a better sense of the detail. So this is what the camera is picking up in what is almost complete darkness, as you could see from that previous video. Now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out. Actually, we'll just do this, and we'll go back into the control area, and I'm going to rotate it again. So now I can see the actual background as well as the controls, and I'm going to zoom in just so you can get a sense of the zooming in. My air is on, so there is looks like some particles flying around and being picked up by the camera. But you can see I'm zooming in right here. It's also has a motion detection went off because it's very sensitive right now, and I'm also moving things. But I'm zooming in, and this is my living room. You can see my TV and my sofa, and it's bringing out some pretty decent detail given the fact that this is almost complete black. Now the other thing that you'll see is when it's showing the recording, you have the name of the device, which is the R2, the date and the time showing up there as well. So really nice detail coming out of this camera in what is pitch black, and under normal circumstances you wouldn't be able to see anything at all. So if I click on the X here, pretty much what you see is the entire area being picked up. Now under normal lighting conditions, this is going to show up much clearer, as I showed you in the video here as we were looking at some of the boxes that are in my office. Alright, now in this test what I'm just going to show you is how the talk and listen works, but at the same time we're going to see motion. So what I'm going to do is I have someone in my living room, and actually what you're starting to hear is my bird in the background. But what we're going to do is I'm going to have someone walk in, and then when they walk in, you'll see how a notification will come up. So let me ask the person to walk in. Can you walk in through the camera now? So we're going to see them walk through. Alright, and you saw the notification came up, and I actually see the person showing up in the camera. Can you say something, test 1, 2, 3, so we can hear you how you come through? Alright, and you can see good response, and it's easy to hear from the phone, and the voice was pretty clear. So this concludes our review of the Foscam wireless 1080p camera. It is model R2, and as you saw through the demonstration, it's a very capable security camera that can be used in many different use cases. Think of this camera as your pet cam. It could be used as a nanny cam, as a baby cam, or just as a security cam that you want to have somewhere in your house. It has excellent speaker capabilities, so having that interaction with someone that's on camera works very well, and the pen and tilt capabilities, as you saw, are very flexible. If you have any comments or questions about the product, please leave it on the YouTube channel. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.